The teasers dropped, the fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop and K-drama world was turned upside down. A top actor's secret affair, a 200 million won lawsuit, and leaked KakaoTalk calls that are completely insane. Welcome to StarScope K-Report.
Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
That's right. And today we have a massive mission for this deep dive. We are unpacking the absolute truth battle between 55-year-old Chungmuro box office king Hwang Jung-min and a devoted fan who turned into his accuser.
And honestly, that's not even the wildest part of the story. Wait until you hear about the dead cat photo and the 77 mysterious phone calls.
Yeah, it gets so dark. So if you love staying updated on your favorites, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead.
So to really grasp the sheer magnitude of this scandal, you have to understand who Hwang Jung-min is within the whole Korean entertainment hierarchy, right?
Right. He's not just some rookie idol fresh off a debut.
Exactly. He is literal Chungmuro royalty. And, you know, for anyone newer to the Hallyu wave, Chungmuro refers to the elite tier of film actors. It's basically the Hollywood of South Korea.
Yeah, he's one of only 2 actors in history to join the 100 million viewer club. We are talking about the leading man of history-making blockbusters like Veteran, 12.1, The Day, and Ode to My Father.
An absolute cinematic titan.
100%. And tied directly to that immense box office power is this meticulously crafted, just bulletproof public persona. He was the ultimate lover man of the industry.
No, definitely.
He's been married since 2004 to Kim Mi-hai, who is a former musical actress and now the head of SEM Company.
Which is his management agency.
Right. So his wife isn't just his life partner. She is literally his CEO. And he was famous for publicly flaunting his devotion to her at major award shows, tearing up on stage, calling her his guiding light. He was the golden standard for a devoted family man.
Which is exactly why the digital bomb that went off on Instagram felt so catastrophic. Like, K-netz woke up to a dedicated account under the handle at Shasi, just airing out highly explosive, incredibly detailed allegations.
And the fandom was completely shaken.
Oh, absolutely. The accuser, who the media is just identifying as a woman in her 40s, didn't just post a vague blind item. She uploaded what she claimed was a literal mountain of receipts.
Yeah, she came prepared.
Right. She alleged a 2-year mutual romance starting back in 2023. She dropped KakaoTalk message screenshots, audio clips, and call logs.
And the details she provided are aggressively specific. It goes way beyond the typical, we met in secret narrative. She claims that Hwang proposed a Soju business venture to her.
Which is such a specific claim.
Yeah, and that this business proposal was actually an elaborate cover for a sexual relationship. She uploaded audio clips containing allegedly intimate remarks, including claims that he wanted to hug her.
And the psychological dynamic she describes is intense. Like, she alleges he once told her that his wife had left home and asked her to come over.
Wow.
Yeah. He supposedly shared hyper-personal details of his daily life, from behind-the-scenes complaints about YouTube appearances down to sending her his personal medical checkup results.
That is such a weird boundary to cross.
It is, and according to her, he was actively reading her private blog, called her writing sexy, and allegedly told her she was turning him into trash. She claims he suggested she write erotic novels instead of writing about him.
Wait. While simultaneously telling her they couldn't cross the line.
Exactly. Telling her she should meet another man, but still keeping her on the hook.
See, I have a theory about this whole Soju business claim, because this is where the mechanics of parasocial relationships usually hit a breaking point.
Oh, let's hear it.
Well, I mean, how does an A-list, untouchable veteran actor go from meeting a fan at a standard movie stage greeting to pitching a joint liquor business?
Right. It doesn't make sense on the surface.
Exactly. So to me, this sounds like a classic grooming tactic for plausible deniability. You create a professional excuse to communicate. So if anyone looks at your phone, like, say, your CEO wife, you're just talking business with a colleague, not having an affair with a fan.
That is a very sharp read on the mechanics of celebrity cover-ups.
Yeah.
It blurs the line terrifyingly fast.
Yeah.
You take a fan who routinely attends promotional events, practically treating him like her ultimate bias, which is a classic parasocial dynamic.
Yeah, when the fan already feels an intense bond.
Right, and you upgrade them to a business partner. Suddenly, the fan feels validated. They aren't just a face in the crowd anymore, They believe they are an insider.
It feels special.
Exactly. She claims they even agreed to take time apart, but he broke that agreement by contacting her while drunk. She's painting a picture of a man who carefully crafted a public persona as a devoted husband while completely exploiting his power behind closed doors.
But wait till you hear what netizens uncovered next. The official agency statement turns this entire narrative from a romantic K-drama into a terrifying psychological thriller.
Oh, the PR mechanics of this response are fascinating because just imagine you are sitting in the SEM Company boardroom, right?
Okay.
Your client is facing a massive scandal, but your client is also your husband, and you are the CEO.
Talk about a conflict of interest.
Right. So SEM Company officially responded by drawing an incredibly hard, brutal line. They didn't issue that soft apology for causing concern, which is the usual K-entertainment playbook.
Yeah, the classic Notes app apology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They completely denied any affair and stated that A is not a mistress, she is a criminal stalker. They revealed they had already quietly filed a criminal complaint against her back in August 2025 for violating the Anti-Stalking Act.
This is where Dispatch gets involved, right?
Yeah.
And Dispatch, which is basically the FBI of Korean entertainment journalism, they released a factual timeline that drastically shifts the narrative. According to their investigation, Hwang and A only met in person a grand total of 3 times.
3 times?
August 2023, September 2023, and March 2024. And if you add up the total time of those 3 meetings, it's just 5.5 hours.
5.5 hours of physical interaction spread over 2 entire years. And Dispatch emphasizes there was absolutely zero physical relationship, no holding hands, no hugging.
So how did it even start?
Well, the agency's explanation is that Hwang recognized her as a dedicated regular at his stage greetings. He eventually invited a group of regular fans to a meal. During that first meeting, Hwang admits he made a passing, self-deprecating joke, something like, "Oh, it's our first date, I should at least take you home."
He claims it was just a casual icebreaker.
Right.
And the Soju business. Dispatch reports it was literal idle chatter. He asked if she'd want to design the label if he ever started a Soju brand. To a superstar, that's just making polite conversation at a dinner.
But to a fan, she allegedly went home, obsessively researched the entire Korean liquor industry, and genuinely believed they were going into a massive corporate partnership together.
Which brings us to the dark mechanics of saucing behavior. For anyone unfamiliar, a saucing isn't just an enthusiastic fan. It's an obsessive individual who invades privacy and views the idol or actor as their personal property.
It's terrifying.
It really is. When the imaginary Soju project obviously never materialized and Hwang tried to distance himself, the escalation was chilling.
Yeah.
According to the stalking complaint, when he finally told her not to contact him, she allegedly stayed inside her house for 40 days, weaponizing her own well-being by threatening suicide.
Oh my God. And Dispatch detailed that on February 10th alone, she sent 78 messages. That is over 6,000 characters of text in a 10-hour window, messages demanding apologies, accusing him of emotional abuse, and one message simply saying, "Die, die, just die."
That is so unsettling.
And it went far beyond text. She allegedly sent him a photo of a dead cat.
Wait, really?
Yes, and she sent photos of bloodstained tissues.
That is literally a horror movie.
Right. And the most terrifying boundary she crossed, mechanically speaking, was bypassing Hwang entirely to target his family.
Oh, no.
She showed up uninvited to his son's school musical and sent Hwang a photo of the ticket to prove she was sitting in the audience.
Oh, that is crossing a huge line.
She even allegedly messaged his underage son directly, claiming his father drove her to a suicide attempt and demanding the son tell his dad to unblock her. In the eyes of the law, targeting a child is the ultimate red line. It transforms an annoying fan into a direct physical threat, which is exactly why SEM Company filed the criminal complaint.
It paints a flawless picture of a celebrity being victimized by an unstable, dangerous assassin. But, this is where my brain completely breaks.
Why?
Because just as the public was rallying behind Hwang, a rival outlet named Tanasia dropped a massive bombshell. They published the actual phone records, and these records completely nuked the agency's pristine victim narrative.
Oh, the Tanasia leak. That is the turning point of this entire saga. Let's look at the data, because the numbers are staggering. Between May 2024 and May 2025.
Which is notably after the period where he claimed she was stalking him.
Exactly, after. There were 77 phone calls between them. And out of those 77 calls, Hwang initiated 62 of them.
See, this is exactly what I mean. If you are being relentlessly stalked, if someone is sending you pictures of dead cats and showing up at your kid's school, why are you the one initiating a phone call to your stalker?
It doesn't add up.
Not just one call, 62 calls. One conversation in December lasted around 50 minutes. In May 2025, right before the communication ended, they spoke 15 times, with one call lasting 56 minutes.
Well, Hwang's agency claims these calls were a desperation tactic. They argue he was terrified she might target his family again or release secretly recorded conversations to the press, so he kept up the communication to persuade and pacify her, hoping to de-escalate the situation quietly.
I completely reject that PR defense.
You do?
Yeah, any crisis management professional will tell you that the absolute first rule of stalking is zero contact. It's like trying to put out a grease fire by throwing water on it.
That's a good point.
Mechanically, giving a parasocially obsessed fan a 56-minute private phone call isn't pacifying them. It's providing massive amounts of oxygen to their delusion. You're actively participating in the relationship. There's an audio recording from September 2024 where Hwang allegedly tells her, "I talk to you on the phone, we talk, and we even argue." That does not sound like a hostage trying to pacify a threat.
You're absolutely right to question it, because if you look at the cultural mechanics of Korean celebrity, a different motive emerges, and it's saving face.
Of course.
Hwang likely realized he had made a colossal mistake by getting too close to a fan. He knew that if he went to his agency, which again is run by his wife, he would have to explain why he was having drunken late-night chats and sharing medical records with a 40-year-old woman.
He'd be exposing himself.
Right. So rather than utilizing his agency's legal team immediately, he likely tried to handle it himself off the books.
He tried to manage the crisis in the shadows to protect his lover-man image, and in doing so, he gave her legal ammunition. Later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking plot twist in the courtroom that nobody saw coming. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update.
Because those 77 phone calls didn't just ruin the agency's PR narrative, they completely altered the legal strategy. Suddenly, you don't just have a straightforward criminal stalking complaint. You have a multi-front civil war playing out in the South Korean justice system.
Let's examine how the legal mechanics are processing this mess. On the criminal side, South Korea's Anti-Stalking Act is relatively new and taken very seriously. When Hwang filed his complaint in August 2025, the court initially hit A with a summary order, which is basically a fast-tracked 3 million won fine designed to resolve clear-cut cases without a full trial.
But A rejected the summary order. She demanded a formal trial, publicly claiming she is innocent of stalking, and her entire defense hinges on those phone records.
Because of course it does.
Yeah, she essentially asks the judge, "How am I the burdensome stalker when you're the one calling me at 1 a.m. while drunk?" She argues she was simply following his instructions and that he was the one bringing up sexual topics in business deals.
Taking it to a formal trial was a massive gamble, though, and it seems to have backfired. At the recent sentencing hearing, the prosecutors didn't just ask the judge to uphold the original 3 million won fine. They escalated it.
Wow.
Yeah, they're now demanding a 10 million won fine and an order for her to complete a mandatory stalking treatment program. Their argument is that her continuous obsessive posts on social media during the trial prove she is an ongoing threat who hasn't stopped the behavior.
But A is fighting a war of attrition, and she's hitting him back in civil court. She has filed a 200 million won civil suit against Hwang for damages.
200 million won, that is huge.
It is, and the mechanics of this civil suit are fascinating because it all traces back to that initial passing joke. She claims he formally proposed the Soju business, assigned her specific tasks, and then offered manipulative excuses for a year and a half when she asked for updates. She is arguing that the business wasn't just a joke, it was a predatory excuse used to extract her energy, time, and labor.
And this dual legal showdown is what finally brought the mysterious A out of the shadows. The media circus outside the Goyang branch court was just unprecedented. When she finally appeared in person, it was incredibly theatrical.
I saw the photos.
Right. She arrives wearing an oversized gray suit, a gray hat pulled low, and a white mask covering almost her entire face. You could only see her long hair beneath the hat.
Because she hid her face so completely, the internet rumor mill just went into absolute overdrive. You have massive YouTube channels like Lee Jin-ho's entertainment commentary broadcasting claims that she is strikingly beautiful and that her allure is the real reason a veteran actor lost his mind and called her 62 times.
People love a good conspiracy.
They do. It's turning her into this mythical femme fatale figure in the eyes of the public. But shortly after the prosecutors demanded that 10 million won fine, her infamous Instagram account, the sole source of her receipts, suddenly vanished.
Really?
Gone. Nobody knows if she deleted it to protect herself or if the platform scrubbed it.
But, while A hides behind a mask and deletes her digital footprint, The mechanics of K-pop internet sleuthing are causing real-world destruction. Innocent fans are getting caught in the crossfire.
Oh, this is the collateral damage of fandom witch hunts. Whenever there's a blind item or an anonymous accuser in Korean entertainment, netizens immediately play amateur detective.
They always do.
Always. They scour years of old stage greeting videos and fan photos, trying to analyze body language just to figure out who the stalker is.
And because they are working with zero actual evidence, they just end up doxing random people. They started falsely identifying ordinary devoted fans as the stalker. They spread their photos across forums, leaving thousands of malicious comments, completely destroying the reputations of women who have absolutely nothing to do with Hwang Jung-min's private life.
The witch hunt got so severe that SEM Company had to step in and issue a highly aggressive official warning.
Good for them.
Yeah, they had to publicly state that the specific person being singled out and harassed online is just a normal fan with zero connection to the lawsuit. And they threatened firm legal action against anyone causing this secondary harm. It highlights how toxic the ecosystem becomes when the boundaries of truth are completely eroded.
Honestly, looking at the sheer chaos of this fallout, it perfectly mirrors the mechanics of Hwang Jung-min's own horror film, The Wailing.
Oh, that's such a good comparison.
Right. Like, if you've seen the movie, the true horror isn't a monster. It's the absolute disorientation of truth. The characters are completely in the dark, pointing fingers at shadows, jumping at rumors, and the more they try to solve the mystery, the more innocent people get hurt. That is exactly what is happening here. The public has no idea who the true villain is anymore.
It is the perfect analogy for the illusion of celebrity. In the film, you don't know who to trust. In the scandal, you have undeniable, terrifying, stalking behavior like threatening a child, sending dead animals running parallel with undeniable complicity, 62 initiated phone calls, hour-long private chats, shared medical records.
It's a mess.
It really is. It completely shatters the illusion of the pristine, untouchable Chungmuro actor. It proves that when a star decides to step over the invisible boundary line and play with a fan's intense devotion, they are lighting a fuse they cannot control.
It really forces you to mull over that terrifying blur between a star's carefully crafted, monetized public persona and their chaotic private reality. Think about the hyper-connected world of the Hallyu wave right now. Where does a devoted fan's loyalty actually end, and where does a dangerous, life-altering obsession begin? And more importantly, what is the moral and legal responsibility of the stars when they actively choose to feed that obsession instead of shutting it down? It's a question that's going to haunt this industry long after the judge finally hits the gavel on this case.
Definitely.
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.